Good morning, everybody. Today, Sloan and I are going to give you a lesson on how to make a bouquet of flowers for your moms for Mother's Day. So before we get started, there are a couple of rules that need to be put in place before I can show you how to do it. So one expectation is that you must have permission to go outside, and I would even say you would need an adult to go with you. So maybe your dad can go, maybe it's grandma, grandpa, whoever lives with you, that would help you keep this secret for your mom, okay? So what I did, because I couldn't figure out how to film this on the street, is I went and I found all of these flowers and cut them out. Do you want to be in the video? Okay, so the other expectation is you must have permission to cut the flowers. So whether they're in your own backyard or your school, or maybe your neighbor that you're close with would give you permission to cut their flowers. So, two expectations with an adult and flowers. Now, if you're in the position where you don't have flowers in your backyard or you're not close with a neighbor, like I live in a complex and we don't have any flowers here, you may go to our school and pick some of the flowers there. Yeah, you want to show them your flower? Okay, so you will need some string. I have a couple different colors. If you know your mom's favorite color, bless you, that would be the best one to choose. But if you don't know, any string's gonna work for this. So I like to do a couple of things when I make a bouquet. Are you eating the flowers? We don't eat those leaves. We want to use some beautiful long pieces to help pull them together. So I have here some lavender, and we have lavender at the school, so this is going to be a perfect one. Now you can see I cut it really, really deep because that's going to help me be able to form and position the sizes. In bouquets, it's nice to have big flowers, maybe with some smaller flowers so that they are arranged beautifully. So I might choose a color that looks really nice together. So I might choose, I had some lilies here in our complex. These are the only flowers that we have. And so, are you going to take my lavender with you? I have cutting gardening shears. If you do not, kitchen scissors work well too. What are you doing? So I'm going to use cutting shears. They're very sharp, so please be very careful. I'm going to cut mine about the length of my forearm because I want them to be able to be in a vase together. Okay, so I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut at a diagonal. You want to cut at a diagonal so that the stem will drink more of the water. Perfect. So I have my first flower. Now, you may also want to have a trash can with you to put the trash pieces aside. Okay, so here is my first big flower. And I want to pair some of my lavender with my lily. Now, I want my lavender to maybe be a little bit taller. So I am going to actually cut them right at the base here where you start to see some of the leaves growing. So I'm going to cut them right there. Flower. Is this a beautiful flower? Okay, 1, 2. And I think I'm only going to choose 2 lavender pieces for this bouquet. All right, so I have 2 pieces of lavender and 1 beautiful, that's too sharp, 1 beautiful lily. Now you can see when you pick the flowers, you kind of want to have a mixture of both. A bud, oh, here's the bud, a bud that hasn't bloomed yet, and maybe a beautiful blooming flower to make the bouquet look bright. Another great trick for creating a bouquet is having a scented piece to add in. So we have rosemary at our school, and I had some rosemary in my garden as well. So these ones don't tend to be as long. So if you're making a shorter bouquet, rosemary is great. It smells wonderful, and it will make your kitchen smell really delightful. All right, another one that smells really good is salvia. And salvia is a bush. So it looks like leaves and it has a purple flower like lavender, but it smells so delicious. And it also is really tall. So this is a great one to add in. I have some here that Sloan has gotten to that have already been cut off. So I'm going to use those so that I don't waste them. So these ones here are going to go together. A couple sprigs of salvia. Ooh, and this one's really long. So I'm going to pair that actually with my lilies. What color would go well with lilies? I think probably the white is going to look really good. This is called privet. My husband is here coaching me on flowers so I can teach you about them too. So this is called a privet. This is a very popular plant that lives all around San Diego. It only blooms once a year. So right now is the perfect time because it blooms. And you can see here how that really makes this bouquet look full. Now, I like to make sure that I have a couple of flowers together that look really nice. So I'm going to actually use my second lily together in this bouquet. So I'm going to get my shears. I'm going to cut it at a diagonal. I'm going to cut this one maybe a little bit longer. And I'm noticing that my, what's this white one again? Privet is a little too long. So I'm going to snap the bottom off that as well. So now I have my flowers in my bouquet arranged the way I think would look really nice in a bouquet. Now if you're thinking, that's looking a little bit empty, you can even add more flowers down at the bottom. Like if I move my lavender here to be really nice and pretty. Now these white ones are privet. Really fall off easily. So if you are going to use these in your bouquet, make sure that you're touching it as least as possible because you can see here they're falling all over our house and in my lap. So just be very careful with those if you choose it. Thank you. Should we add some rosemary? Sloan decided that we should add some rosemary to this bouquet because it would be a nice one. Another plant that you might see around San Diego is this purple one. This is called statice, and statice grows really well in our climate. It's native here, and you can see it adds some beautiful colors to our bouquet. So now I'm really happy with the way that my bouquet looks. I have a couple layers here, some taller pieces and some lower pieces. And so what I'm going to do is tie my knot. Do you want to sit on my lap and tie it with me? Okay, so we're going to grab some string. I have some string here, and I'm going to tie my bouquet together. Now you all have studied the needs of the plant, so you know that my plant is going to need water. If you want to keep this a surprise, I would recommend doing this the night before Mother's Day or even the morning of, and you can go out, keep it together with a bow. Now you can see how some of my pieces are falling like that. You can add some rubber bands to keep them together or some more bows up the top. So I hope that this is going to be a super exciting, fun lesson for you guys to get outside. So here's my first bouquet. Now I'm going to do even one more just because I want to use some of the flowers that we have at school. And I'm going to do a shorter bouquet. This is a hibiscus, and we have all kinds of hibiscus flowers at school. I think we have orange and pink, and you are welcome to go. Oh, do you want to get up? Oh, you want your flower. You are welcome to go to the school and chop them. I want to keep the leaves to not be too bushy because I want to put them in a vase. So I am going to trim my leaves off to make my flower kind of on its own. Now this one's really long, and if I were to put this in a bouquet together, thank you, son, it probably would need to be trimmed. Okay, so now you notice, do you see the stem? That's the stem. Can you see here that they kind of point in different directions, right? So I'm going to want to fill this area with something else. You want to think about complementary colors. And if I'm thinking about complementary colors, when I see a yellow hibiscus, I think what would go well with hibiscus would be the birds of paradise. Now this also grows in San Diego. Would you like to get up? There you go. No? Okay, so this is a great one. They have these at the school too. And so if I want to include a birds of paradise, I'm going to look for also flowers that go well together. Birds of paradise are beautiful, unique flowers, and you can even create a bouquet of just them with nothing else. But I'm thinking, my goodness, this yellow and orange and purple look really good together. I'm going to trim my birds of paradise pretty significantly so that I can put it in a bouquet. Now these look so gorgeous together, but I think my bouquet is still not quite complete. So I'm going to look through all of my flowers and I'm going to think about what color would look great with this. And you know, I think that this is a tropical kind of feeling. So I want to use plants that really go well with this. You could even use the salvia again. So I have another piece of salvia here. It has hints of purple, just like the birds of paradise. And that's going to be a great filler in this bouquet. So see how that just kind of fills the space. Now, if I want to make my birds of paradise stand out, I might keep that stem longer. So then this kind of fills the bottom, and maybe I cut open or cut down the salvia so that that also is lower but fills in the space. Okay, well, I can't wait to see the beautiful bouquets that you all create. And later on in the week, we will go ahead and also learn about writing special cards for your mom. I hope everybody has a lot of fun doing this, and I would love to see the bouquets that you make on Facebook. I will post these after Mother's Day so that your mom doesn't find out about our secret. Okay, have a wonderful time doing this. See you soon. Bye.